This is Group 9, and I'm Dishant, and my teammates are Mia, Samantha, and Miraj, and this is our deliverable for Design Challenge 3. So the first thing we set out to do was to understand, to do some research, and in that the first topic we wanted to tackle was to understand what the conditions of Mars and the environment is actually like. So we did a bunch of research on that, understood like the environmental conditions, understood what kind of things we need to make sure the design the home system needs to track, needs to facilitate, and we also wanted to look at futuristic concepts that is being promised in the near future, or the tech that we've seen in like the sci-fi movies. Um, and we also wanted to look at what smart home systems are like at this day and age, and just to know what the expectations are for a home system and what features and functionality it needs to come with. We also wanted to explore all the different accessibility and even just human needs that the humans who would be inhabiting Mars would need. And after doing all the research, we came together, we started brainstorming ideas, and this was a couple of ideas that we had that the home system would need to facilitate for. Um, we then went ahead and um individually uh, worked on some crazy eights, each of which were targeting different things that we felt were important, and we didn't want to assign anyone something, uh, uh, a specific topic. We instead just wanted to explore whatever we wanted to explore, just to see what ideas we would come up with. And this one is Samantha's Crazy Eight. And this one is more focused towards the tracking of things and how the interface could look like. And it's also how the user would interact with the home system. This is Miraj's Crazy Eight, and his also focus more on the interaction with the system, and he shows a lot of different ways the user would be able to interact, and he also shows how there are creative ways the walls and windows could be screens, and a way of communication could be through holograms, like if they were talking to someone, like a friend or neighbor, they could talk to each other to like projection mapping and holograms. um, and Mia focused more on like how the energy being generated on Mars and for to power the home, and how that would be related to the design home system, and ways in which the home system would track this is being illustrated here. And I mainly focus on like the social aspects of the social needs that the humans on Mars would have, and how the home system could facilitate this. And some of the ideas were to have holograms, to play games with, to exist in like a room virtually and partake in social activities, and just have like a social aspect that the home system would facilitate. And these notes have more details on them. We then, using these crazy eights, we got together, we discussed some of our ideas, we put hearts on things we thought were really interesting or we wanted to explore more. And with that, we started coming up with ideas of how we wanted this home system to be like. And one thing we landed on was to have like a robot interaction built in to the design system, because we felt that it would serve both as like a companion, fulfilling the social need of the humans on Mars, as well as a cool way to interact with the design system. We also believe that it would be if it would feel more natural to talk to a robot or something that seems more natural to interact with rather than just talking to a wall or talking to a speaker on the counter. So with that being the core of our design system, we came up with our ideas of how the digital interface would look like, but also how the user would interact with the robot. And some of the commands that the user would be able to interact with the robot are things like what's the weather like today, call the Jones household, or set the theme of the room to be like the Amazon forest. And these are some different use cases that we have illustrated of the user interacting with the robot and showing what the home system is capable of doing. So the first one is where the user is asking the robot to see who's available to call, and the robot projects like a digital interface that the user can interact with there itself, or they can also just talk to the robot and have the interaction flow that way. So the robot shows them a list of people, just like some groups or like their neighbors, their friends, just a social aspect of their people that they could call, talk. Here they can also list like virtual events that the household or their friends are hosting or will be hosting, and the user can attend those right from here. And in this use case, they choose to call the Soprano household, and the the call is being projected on through a hologram. And we believe that this tech would be possible at this time, so we wanted to showcase that the user is talking to one of their contacts on the phone through hologram. And an alternate use case, going back to like the social aspect, is like we could allow for you to play games virtually, like through this hologram tech. So you're talking to someone, I'm playing games at the same time, and everything's being handled by the home system. Another use case is asking the robot to show the air quality conditions, which is pretty important when you're on Mars. If there's anything wrong with the air quality, you want to know immediately. And we wanted this kind of information like radiation, air quality, weather, energy, all of it to be on the home screen and ready for the user to access. So when you ask that to the robot, it would show you the screen or it would say it out loud what the air quality is. And here we're showing an example of what the digital interface would look like. And this would be the home screen where the air quality would be shown. And if you wanted to go deeper into it and see what the look at some more detailed information, if you click at the air quality, it would show you a more detailed breakdown of the different values and give you a more deeper advanced information. And since we also in our vision we also believe that all the walls and windows would be also screens. Here the user has asked the robot to transfer the digital interface onto the wall, so the screen that you see on the digital interface is transferred onto the wall. Um, and the next use case, which we thought could be important, especially for people who are newly settling into Mars, and they might be homesick, nostalgic, just want to feel like they're back at home on Earth again. They can ask the robot to change the theme of the room or the house to something that reminds them of Earth, or pretty much anything. But for this example, we want to show them being able to change the theme of the room to a forest on Earth, and this is what that could look like. And finally, we also believe that since they are establishing infrastructure, we feel like the humans on Mars would also be growing some plants, some crops of their own, um, just to use that as a way to make food. And this is one use case where you can ask the robot to show the status of the plants and the crops that you've planted, and that is being grown in the greenhouse. And this is being projected, and you can see the digital interface, what it would look like. It shows the different types of plants and crops that you planted and what their growth status is like, and if they're ready to be harvested or not. And this is what we imagine that the greenhouse would be like. And there's windmills around it to power the house. We also believe there will be solar panels, because from the research we've done, it seems like those are the most reliable forms of energy generation on Mars. And we believe that a home system should give you a way to track this to make sure everything's working fine. So that is what the home system would be able to do as well. As you can see here, it shows the energy level. So the main flow that we wanted to showcase of a user interacting with the home system is is as follows. The robot announces an emergency to the user regarding the air quality, and the user clicks into it, sees that the air quality is really bad, showing that there's a danger alert and the air quality is in critical condition. In this scenario, the user asks the robot if there's anything they can do to survive or fix the situation. And just for the sake of this scenario, and because we want to show an end-to-end experience of the different functions, and the different aspects of the home system, in this scenario, the chance of survival is zero, and the robot informs the user of that. It then offers the user a suggestion to call a neighbor or a friend to let them know what's happening. To which the robot shows the user a list of their friends and neighbors that they can call. Um, uh, the user then chooses a friend that they want to talk to, and the user is letting them know what's happening, and they're reminiscing of their good times before they inevitably meet their doom. Uh, and here's a more detailed description of the digital interfaces that we have created and the different flows as well. And this would be what the prototype that is linked below here. Like this is the prototype that you would be interacting with, and we will go there in just a second. So this is the normal home system. This would be the dashboard, and this provides a brief overview of the main monitoring systems throughout the user's smart home. And this is useful. We believe that this is useful because it presents relevant information simply at a glance. Then the user has the option to click into it, get more deeper understanding of what's happening, get more detailed and advanced information. And because Mars has different environmental conditions than Earth, we believe it's really important to track um, information regarding radiation, air quality, and weather. And in order to live sustainably, the smart home also tracks the amount of water it can circulate, the growth of the vegetation, and the renewable energy harnessed from the sun and wind. The air quality page provides an overview and detailed descriptions of the air quality within the user smart home on Mars. And again, as the conditions on Mars are so dangerous and critical, it is important to make sure the user knows the the status of things like the air quality at all times. So it's really important for the home system to track this as well. Um, and in this scenario, we're assuming while um, they have made strides in making the quality of life outside the house or the conditions on Mars a little bit closer to what it is on Earth to be able to like survive, we do still believe that going outside is not as easy as staying at home. So we believe that the home system has to ensure that the air quality, radiation, all of that are in check, and all of the systems that are being built around making sure nothing's going wrong is being tracked, and the user is able to manage that. The page provides an overview of neighbors and friends nearby the user's smart home on Mars. Users can call, message, and plan hangouts with the neighbors and their friends. And we believe that the social aspect um, was a pretty important thing when it came to setting up your life on Mars. And we believe that the home system is a great way to facilitate that, especially since they would be leaving their homes, they would be leaving Earth to come here. There's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of homesickness. You want to talk to people, but it's not as easy to go outside and hang out. So most things would be virtual. You're talking on the phone, like so. The home system could be would be able to like facilitate more interactions, more virtual hangouts, and that's what we hope to do with this. And the plan progress. The plan progress page provides an overview of the plants a user is growing in their home garden. The smart home is able to map where each vegetation is located in order to better track its progress to harvest. The user can click on the individual plants to get more detailed information on how to take care of the plant, any issues there are, etc. And we believe this is really important, as even though we are assuming they are able to sustainably survive on Mars, and there are cities around their homes, uh, and they can get food externally. We think if they're initially setting up infrastructure, they would also be inclined to grow food and plants within their households um, to nourish themselves, to make sure they're sustainable. So keeping track of that and making sure the home system helps them do that would be really valuable. So this would be flow number two when the home system is in danger, and as you saw in the storyboard above, the dashboard alert is in this case that the smart home monitors report dangerous levels of air quality in the user's home, and the dashboard will alert the user with visual cues such as banner and highlighting the problem area. And in the case of air quality being really bad, uh, the smart homes the smart home just reports it and lets them know you may be in danger, lets you uh, call 911 if we assume that still translates in Mars, and follow the emergency plan. And this is a dashboard with an alternate theme, and we also created some alternate designs. And this was some of the design inspiration we worked with. And here is the prototype that we have linked here, and we can go through that real quick. But it is basically these screens that I just walked you through. So here you are, you're on the dashboard. You at a glance, you see all the most important information you need: radiation levels, water levels, air quality, and then you just want to take a look at what the air quality is like, and you see that everything's good. Air quality is satisfactory and poses no health risk. Oxygen is at an 86. Everything else is where it should be. And you feel like you want to talk to someone real quick. You want to hit your friend up. It's his birthday. You want to wish him a happy birthday. You go to the socials page, and it's Tina's birthday, and you decide you want to call. You can go ahead and give her a call. And once you're done with that, you want to check how your plants are doing. You can go ahead and click on your plants tab and see how your tomatoes are doing, your cats are doing, and you see your potatoes are almost ready to be harvested. So that's really good. So then you go back home, and oh no, all of a sudden the air quality is uh, having an alert, and it says that you may be in danger. I wonder what that is. So you click on the air quality, and it says that there's dangerous levels of oxygen at home, and it says air quality is dangerous and necessary precautions must be taken, and there is an emergency plan, and you can call 911. And as you can see, oxygen levels are at a 3, which is pretty bad, and I would assume that would mean you would die. And that was what we wanted to show with this flow where the user dies. Or maybe he lives. That's the cliffhanger we wanted to leave it on. But that's what we have so far for the deliverable. Um, the links for the FigJam board and the prototype will be in a notepad. Um, yep, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much.